Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're at in the world. I realized I hadn't shown you where I find some examples of my reference. So I'm looking at faces like this. There's just a lot of character to them. They're not your like typical face that you would normally see, and they're just fun to draw. And my sketchbook in front of me, and that's usually my little set. I have again my little eraser, white charcoal pencil, blending stump, Zebra Delgard pencil, and this is a My Hero Academia kind of collector pencils off to the side here. So let's dive right into this same process. So I'm going to start with the overall head shape, just like how I did in Procreate. I'm trying to do a larger face for this. I tend to draw really small. I saw somewhere in the video one time someone said to draw small to see the big problems and then draw big to see the small problems. I don't know if that makes any sense or if I just thought it sounded deeper than it actually is. But yeah, I feel like for me, I tend to draw on the small side a lot. I don't know why that is, just a habit that I haven't broken out of yet. So even though I have this laid out fairly large, I'll probably end up shrinking this down quite a bit. So here we go. So again, I'm gonna start with the profile, this like the side of the face, and kind of work from one side to the other. And trying to lay out just the overall shape first before I get too many details. Sorry, I kind of like just woke up, so my voice sounds a little wild right now. All right, so here we go. So I'm kind of laying out roughly where things are, like this ear's kind of off to the side. This guy kind of has this like overswept hair, really larger forehead. I'm not trying to draw too many details in here, just enough so I know where stuff goes. Hair kind of goes like that, and the other hair kind of has this little swoop situation like this. The neck is roughly at like this kind of angle. Here's a shirt that looks like it's angled slightly further down like this. Okay. And yeah, I had seen another artist on TikTok, some comic book, I think he's an inker, but basically, you know, his little tips were saying, you know, stop trying to draw all the features and stuff first. Just lay out the overall shape of the figure and stuff, and then fill in the details after. So I've been trying to do that with my most recent drawings. So the center line for this face, it's kind of off center. It's like around here. His eyes kind of angled slightly like this. And I'm taking different things I got from different places. So some videos I learned some stuff from like YouTube, some I got from books. So this one book on the caricature drawings, you know, like people like exaggerate features and stuff, where the guy does almost like a mask shape when he's drawing the eyes. Instead of actually focusing on the details of the eyes, he just does like if you were to have like a bandit mask almost. And then for the nose, he does like almost like an upside down T. So you're kind of following that same line. Kind of helps you determine how wide the nose is. So basically you're like that, right? And then from here, okay, mouth is like roughly here. Kind of has that line go out like this. And then the side of his head kind of goes like this. And his little cheekbones kind of prominent. I think that's enough information for me to like start laying in detail. So I'm gonna start with the left side and go on to the right. So I'm not looking for the pupil. I'm looking for the actual shape of the eye first. So Kind of has this like overlapping lid thing happening. And then here we go. So the eye fold, and then the lower lid kind of folds underneath the top line here. I'm hoping you can see that. Okay. Yeah, it kind of loops up slightly down like that, and then back around. If you want, you can draw along with me. Don't necessarily need to draw the same person. I like watching art videos and people draw, just having something on in the background. You can mute me too if you want. Don't have to hear me ramble. But here we go. So his nose. It's a very interesting shaped nose. It has like a lot of sharp corners to it, like the cartilage is really prominent. And the nose bone. All right. I wish I knew like all the terms. I should learn them. It's always good to learn anatomy when you're trying to draw. Whether it's people, whether it's animals. Yeah. I'm getting hung up on drawing this nose right now, when I'm not trying to get super detailed just yet. All right, so the eye is normally, the eye distance typically is one eye width. So I have one eye ends here, right? So the next mark you do, so you kind of measure out that eye, and that will give you kind of the distance of the corner of the next eye. So that made no sense, sorry. So I'm measuring the distance from one eye. It's 3 eye distances, basically. So 1, and then 2 would be like right here. And then 3, like roughly here. So 1 eye, 2 eyes, 3 eyes. It seems about right. So I always kind of get messed up on the corner of the eye where that should start, especially when the face is kind of like at an angle. And this guy's doing all kinds of squinty things. So it's kind of a interesting trying to recreate his little eye shape. So I'm not going to draw anything on the inside just yet. Again, like this is just literally mapping out his shape of his eye. And oh yeah, the book I was referencing is called The Mad Art of Caricature, I believe. It's been around for a while and it's super useful. They talk about all parts of the facial features, how to like look for shapes. It's very, very clearly written and illustrations are super clear. And you should really study that thing, regardless if you're drawing caricatures or just regular old portrait work, because all those tools come in handy. I need to like go back over like everything, honestly. It's been so long since I've actually drawn. I start to get rusty. Like anything else, you need to like, stay on it. If you're an athlete, practice. If you're an artist, practice. Musician, same thing. All right, so his eyebrows. So yeah, he has one eye that's super squinty, and the other one's slightly more open. Okay, I kind of flipped through this picture in the beginning of this video, so you know what I'm looking at. So the little lower lid, like this. And then it's like a heavier shadow, and this one's not too dark. But it kind of goes from the bottom further down, like right here. So it's like a very light shadow that's cast right here. And his little eyebrow. But by the brow ridge, it causes like this shadow that's being cast. Okay. How's everybody doing out there, by the way? Hope everyone is healthy and enjoying their day. Man, I'm so upset right now. I thought I was recording this whole time, and apparently I had run out of space, which is super frustrating. Okay, so let's try to finish this up, I guess, really quickly. I hate that this is the case. Man. Alright, here we go. Have you ever had that happen to you when you're recording a video and then you're like, oh, not happening today? That just happened to me. Alright, so now I gotta rush. I hate having to rush. It's just not gonna turn out the way I want it to. Kind of ruins the chill vibe I have going. Like, dang. All I wanted to do was just draw and record. Now my phone doesn't want me to. Alright. So, this is the one we're going with. Let's see. So this is what I mean when I like to start off with a certain size of stuff and then it ends up getting like shrunk down as far as the proportions and stuff. I hate that I'm having to do this because it just kind of sucks. Like I had a rhythm going and then now I have to keep checking to make sure it's even recording. Oh, man. You see how large the head started off, and now it's just getting smaller and smaller as I keep making these adjustments. All right. I'm sure there's much better ways to do this. Now I'm using the other side of the little blending stump to kind of add the highlights, since it's a little cleaner and won't bleed into the, it won't turn out gray and stuff. This side is actually supposed to have a highlight. Here, some shadow. This is where I use the other side. Sorry, I have to keep checking if this thing's even recording because I'm like running out of space. I'm having a rush. And this is shadow right here. Oh, that did.